Kale chips are heavenly. Oh my gosh. My teenage daughter loves kale chips. And so I make a bag for her every day for lunch. She takes another bag to share with her friends. It's really quite lovely. We're going to show you how to do the oven kale chips today. But we also can do them in a dehydrator. So let me walk you through some of the ingredients that we're going to need to make the kale chips. Okay. Obviously, we need kale. We're going to have some powdered garlic, powdered sea salt, brewer's yeast or nutritional yeast. Now you can also add things like turmeric, black pepper, cayenne pepper to make it a little bit spicier if you want. And we'll start out with a little bit more mellow version for you. So this, go ahead and grab it. This is lanceolato kale. It's also called dinosaur skin kale. It has a lovely bluish green tint and sort of a center rib. And a little bit crumply leaves. Again, if you feel the leaves, they're nice and coarse, heavy. It's sort of like lettuce on steroids, lettuce with cabbage-like texture. So this is the lanceolato version. This is curly kale. And so the leaves here are very curly, roughly. Again, there's a big coarse stem here down the middle. Okay, so I'm going to have you help me strip some kale from the leaf. So we need to get the leaf away from the stem. I put my fingers on the stem away from you, and now pull the stem out. Great. And we're going to put those right there, and you can put your stems here. Okay, now we're going to try with the lanceolato. This one is a little trickier. So I start tearing the leaf away. So there you go. And keep pulling. And put the leaf in there.
And can you make anything with these? Or do you throw them away?
We throw nothing away. My Iowa farmer daddy would be so proud of me. We're going to use everything. So we're going to make a smoothie with this stuff. Now, when you make a salad, you can take the stems out and chop the stems and add them back to the salad like a celery. Or you can leave the stems in and just chop it, mince it finely. Either way works. So in general, when I make a salad, I don't bother taking the stems out. I just chop them in. But when I'm making kale chips, I always take the stems out. Otherwise, the stems feel a bit woody and hard, a little difficult. So now it's going to get a little more fun. We're going to take a half teaspoon of salt and sprinkle that on the bowl here. And do you like garlic?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So we'll put a half teaspoon of powdered garlic on.
And can you use fresh garlic?
You could use fresh garlic, and I have often used fresh garlic.
And would you mince it, or would you put it through a garlic press?
Either would be fine.
Okay.
And so right here, you could also put in a teaspoon of black pepper, or a teaspoon of turmeric, or what other spices you enjoy. And so the salt will dissolve a bit to make it easier to massage in. I like to put in a tablespoon of orange juice. Okay, so I'm going to have you begin. You're going to start massaging this, and you mix it in. Turn up and down and around, and just keep massaging.
All right.
And try and get everything wet, and you want to massage it. If you feel like you're having a hard time getting everything moist, we can put in another tablespoon of orange juice.
Could you use olive oil instead of
Yes,
orange juice?
you could use olive oil in addition.
Okay.
I like to put in a little lemon juice or orange juice. That helps cut the bitterness just a bit. So it's sort of almost like kneading bread. I'm just really getting in there and squeezing, mixing as we go. So the bowl, I'd say, is about 2/3 the size of what it was originally. So we've had a little bit of contraction. If you don't want to use sea salt, you could use gluten-free soy sauce. That's another way to get a little more salt in here and soften the cell walls. Now, so the next job is to coat these with a great coating of that nutritional yeast. Now, one could, in theory, measure, but I'm too much of my mother's daughter. So the way I measure is I just start shaking it on.
Where do you buy brewer's yeast?
So you can get brewer's yeast at a health food store. In town, that would be the New Pioneer Food Co-op. You can also get some online from an organization like Vitacost. That would be www.vitacost.com. And they have a number of nutritional brewer's yeast. With the caveat being you want to look for gluten-free. So it really depends on how much you like the brewer's yeast. You can do this without the brewer's yeast. You just do sea salt and some cayenne pepper or black pepper. Garlic goes in here quite wonderfully. You can ground any nuts that you like, such as walnuts. Sprinkle those in, grind sunflower seeds, pine nuts, and sprinkle those in right now in this stage. Any of that stuff would be really quite marvelous. Now, simply put these in the pan, and we could bake those at 350 degrees. And I begin checking them at about 40 minutes. And I would check them every 5 to 10 minutes until you get that nice level of crackliness, crunchiness. Okay, so the kale's been in the oven for about half an hour. And if you pick it up, you can feel it's just a little bit crackly, but not completely. There's still some soft, limp stuff here. So I think it needs about another 10 minutes. You want it to have that nice crackly sound all the way through. And so I'm going to just sort of mix it around a little bit, stir it up. And we'll pop it back in the oven and check it again. Oh, in about 10 minutes. Okay. Oh, let's try that. Pretty yummy, huh? So one could make these in a dehydrator. Here I just take the leaves out and put them on the racks. Sort of spacing them out. And then I could, you can stack up to 12 racks in this particular dehydrator. And I'll just put the top on. And here you would plug it in so it would dehydrate over, generally overnight. Sometimes I've done it all day. And I dehydrate at the lowest temperature, which here is 95 degrees. So these are some dehydrated kale chips that I made last night. And I invite you to have a little sample. There you go.
Is this garlic on it?
So there's garlic and nutritional yeast, ground walnuts. I hope they meet your approval.